So this is the Sturgeon River. Apparently there used to be some sturgeon fish in it. I don't know. It's been a long time, I think, since there were. I know there's some big pike in here. There used to be a dam right here across the river, and in the spring the pike that were running up toward the lake would get stopped temporarily by the dam, and we could stand there with a fishing line and cast in and literally catch a fish every time you cast. It was amazing. We filled our cooler with fish, and finally we got so sick of eating them that we stopped catching them. It was
we moved on to gophers, I think.
Yeah, gophers. Actually, it was amazing that the water at that time, I remembered it as being a lot clearer. I know we used to drink it out of the river. That was really the only source of water we had. We eventually discovered a spring over in the far corner of the property, over across that pond there. But we used to drink the water in the river. I don't remember anybody ever getting sick. But about that time is when the town of Onave developed their sewage pond and started dumping sewage in the river every spring. And it changed the composition of the water, put a lot of chemicals in the water, which made it possible for a lot more algae to grow and stuff. There are still some beautiful swimming holes. There's a really nice one down there. It's about 20 feet deep, and springs come up in the bottom of it to keep it clear and cold. I remember after seeing some 10-pound pikes in there, I used to swim on my back. I was worried about dangling and tempting those pike, and I sure didn't want to have to deal with that. There used to be another nice swimming hole up there where that beaver house is, and then there's a bend up around the corner, and there's another really deep hole where a spring comes in and keeps that cleaned out. Okay. We used to do a lot of canoeing. Well, in fact, when we first moved here, there was a raft here that the former people had built, and it had a paddle wheel on it, and they had some kind of an engine to push that paddle wheel. We never did get an engine, but we used that raft to swim off out in the river. And I remember asking our neighbors up on the hill, the Gannettes, if they ever saw any of us down there swimming. I was curious to see if they realized we were swimming in the nude. And Mr. Gannett said yes. He said, I've seen people down there, and with my binoculars I can tell who it is.
No, Dad, I think you're mistaken. I think it was a different neighbor, but I'm gonna...
Dahlheim. Oh, that's right. I said Gannett, Mr. Dahlheim. Yeah,
No disrespect to Mr. Dahlheim. I would have done it.
Yeah, well, I would have too. No. Oh, he had a real sense of humor. Guy.
He was a great guy.
He was a lot of fun. One day there were a bunch of us on the raft, and a bunch of guys came down in a boat from the Onaway area, and I mean I think they came thinking they might see some nude bodies down here. But when they got close to the raft, they got embarrassed and they all turned their heads away. They couldn't bear to look. And after a while, we noticed that they had parked their boat around the corner and had creeped back up through the bushes. And they were up there on top of that hill there, peering through the bushes. It was easier for them to deal with the embarrassment.
It wasn't the guys they were stalking to look at, I don't think.
That sounded like an animal of some sort. If you used to take about a half hour to paddle up the river to Devil's Lake. You had to know which channel to take, because there were several false channels that ended just in the bulrushes up that way. But once you knew which channels to take, it was a very pleasant paddle to get up there, and of course Devil's Lake is very clear and clean, and a nice place to be boating.